What's going on, y'all? So today we're going to talk about how to perform the deadlift for muscle growth and the 5 mistakes that you're probably making. So before we go ahead and get into how to perform the deadlift and all the techniques, I want to talk about those 5 mistakes because they're keeping you from getting the most gains, but also I want to help you prevent yourself from getting injured for the long term. Mistake number 1 is you're squatting the deadlift. So what you're doing is basically a modified squat, and this is what it looks like. Is basically you're just sitting real low and you're basically squatting it up. You see how my arms are way up here and in front and my body's back here? You don't want that. That's an unfavorable leverage. Mistake number 2, we see this one too often in the gym, and that is you're rounding your back. And the biggest thing that's happening most likely is that the bar is too far away from your body and your shins, and that's creating that habit of you reaching over and grabbing like this and just pulling like that. You're letting the weight pull you instead of you pulling the weight. So when it comes to this fix, it's all about the technique, the form, and the setup process, which we're gonna go ahead and talk about in just 1 second. So mistake number 3 is you're not maintaining a straight bar path. When we're deadlifting, we wanna pick this baby up and we need that to come in a very straight line. So it's gonna start in one place and it's gonna drop to one place. So the first thing I wanna talk about is, just like in the previous one, what's probably happening is you're probably starting too far out and then it's not a straight line. Another thing maybe is that, say you're starting pretty good, you got your form pretty nice, all right? And you're nice and tight here, you're ready to go. But the thing is, when you come up, instead of staying tight, you're letting it come off your body. You're far away from your body. You're not staying as close as you possibly can. So one of the quickest fixes that you can do to go ahead and fix that is you wanna get in your deadlift setup, which I'm gonna teach fully in a second. You're gonna reach down, you're gonna come into place, and then the biggest fix here is by me engaging my lats. So what I like to do, is so many cues that you can use, is you can think of like doing a straight bar pull down like that, and then my chest goes up, my booty goes back, and I'm up. But my favorite cue for my body personally is I like to roll it to my shins, and I like to act like I'm bending the bar, and that's gonna engage my lats and keep me strong throughout the process. So I'm gonna engage my lats, my chest is up, booty's back, I'm ready to go, I'm gonna leg press it, and I'm up. Booty back, come down straight. Mistake number 4, you're jerking the weight. How many people do we see when they're deadlifting? You know, they get into their form or whatever they're doing, and they do this, they just jerk it. And they come down and just jerk it. And what's happening is you're not creating that tension that's needed prior to the movement so that you can safely and efficiently do the movement to save your lower back. Because when you start to jerk, you're gonna end up tweaking your lower back, and it forces you to get that lower back rounding, which we don't want. All right, so we're already at number 5, and that's when you're deadlifting, you're overextending. We see too many people, whether they're just hyped up and just, getting PRs, whatever, they're just, It's gonna bring discomfort to your lower back. It's gonna bring injury, also your spine. All you need to do, obviously, I'll work on form in a second, but basically when you're coming up, you just need to come get a nice squeeze. You should feel it in your glutes, and that's it. You're not going super back. So when you're coming up, that's it. You're just squeezing your glutes, and you're good to go. And then you're gonna come back down. That's all you need. You don't need the whole. All right, y'all, so now we're gonna go ahead and dive into the technique form. But before we go ahead and do that, because I'm gonna be doing it in just my socks, I wanna let you know that you can use shoes, but what I recommend is making sure that you have a flat sole on your shoe, okay? Like classic old school Converse, for example. For example, this is a cue I use. Most people, when they line up to the deadlift and they have the bar, it's usually right at midfoot. That's okay too. But what I like to do is get close enough where it's about 1 inch from my shin, so that when I'm looking over, I can see the last shoelace up here, and then I'm ready to dive in. All right, so this is exactly how I do it. First things first is you wanna be about hips width, okay? When you're standing to the bar. And then one thing I like to do, just so if you wanna just have more of a natural position, is just act like you're jumping. And wherever you land comfortably, that's probably where you should be. And then you're gonna step up to the bar. And like I said, I like to get pretty close, about 1 inch off. Okay, and then this is how you, if you want to come to the side, this is one of the cues I like to do just to make sure that everything's going well, is just, all I'm going to do is just push my hands down my knees, and then once it gets to my knees, I start to separate my hands, and then I'll just grab the bar, and then I'm going to I'm going to pull my chest up and dip my hips back, and then I'm going to go ahead and I'm bending the bar in half, and then I'm going to come straight up. Come back down, and once it gets to the knee, I'm gonna go ahead and let it drop in a straight line. And then once again, I'm gonna make sure it touches my shins, and then I'm gonna go ahead and engage my lats by, I can either do like a straight bar pull down to make sure I'm engaged, or I can act like I'm bending the bar in half, and I'm not jerking my hips up first, I'm leg pressing it up to about my knees, and then I'm coming through with the lockout, and this is how I should be at the top. Then I'm coming back down, pushing my booty back, and once it hits my knees, I just push it down. I just let it go down. And once again, I'll get it closer to my shins again, and I'll go ahead and bend the bar, and then I'm coming up like a leg press, and then I'm extending. And also, have you ever wondered like why some people's backs look a little different angle-wise? Like some people might be completely flat, some people might be a little like this, and some people might be a nice 45-degree angle. Well, just know it's all due to our leg length and our torso, and we're all built differently in our anatomy. So just think like most people that are shorter, I'd say anywhere from like 5'5", 5'10", they're gonna be more on an angle, like a 45-degree angle, kind of like I am. But then those taller people, 6'2", 6'5", tend to be more, like this. So just note that, and don't think you're doing it wrong. Sometimes you just have to think that our bodies are all built differently. And this is a tip in closing, is when it comes to Versa grips, these straps right here, or any kind of weightlifting straps, belts, accessories, things like that, or also using a mixed grip to get more weight up, try to avoid using all this until you're working on the heavier weights, maybe like your 1 to 5 rep maxes. Try to use your core in good form as much as possible. There's nothing wrong with this, unless you're trying to enter like a powerlifting competition where you have to have a crazy grip. There's nothing wrong with using straps, wrist wraps, things like that, but try to train without them until you absolutely need them when you're lifting super heavy weight. All right, y'all, so that is the 5 mistakes that you could potentially be making while doing the deadlift and how to correct it. I hope this video brought a lot of value to you, and just remember that the deadlift is literally the #1 move you can do for your body in building muscle and just being able to make all your other lifts stronger, because it literally works every single muscle in your body. Unless you have severe back problems or you're just incapable of doing it, I highly suggest you do it whether you're 30, 40, or 50 years old, because if you're anything like me, I'm 33. I'm always going to be doing deadlifts as long as I try to keep my form the best I can and taking care of my body. Once again, this is Eric Zapata with Eric Zapata Fitness, and I help men build lean muscle and lose anywhere from 20 to 40 pounds in just 90 days or less. And if you're looking to transform your body, I want you to reach out to me on any social media channel such as Facebook or Instagram, and shoot me a direct message with the keyword power, and I'll know exactly what you're talking about. And let's talk about your goals, where you want to go, and how I can help you get there. I'll talk to you in the next video.